Hi everybody, welcome to today's workout. I'm Coach Ali.
I'm Steph.
And what are we doing today, Steph?
Today we're doing a full body dumbbell workout. We're doing primary exercises, and these are the exercises you must do when you want real results.
As one of the most experienced trainers on the YouTube platform, I feel like it's my responsibility to bring you guys not just interesting workouts, but the ones that actually get you real results. Therefore, what we want to do with today's full body dumbbell workout is that I'll give you a set of instructions, I'll get you guys to do a set of it, then we'll take a short break where we do static stretches related to the exercises that you're doing. And then we're going to do those set of exercises one more time before I give you another set of instructions. This is going to make your full body workout really effective for people who want real results. That's you. Now, before we get started today, can I suggest that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already? We're producing beginner level workouts every Tuesday, and we're doing advanced workouts every Thursday at 10 p.m. If you hit that subscribe button now, you're going to make sure that you don't miss any of the workouts that we bring out. Are you guys ready to get started today, guys? Because we're ready to go.
See you on the other side.
This exercise is sumo squats. So make sure you start with nice wide legs. Make sure your toes are pointing out 45 degrees. And then when you're dropping down, make sure your knees follow your toes. We don't want them caving in at all. Drop down nice and deep. And then on your way up, make sure that you're squeezing your glutes and really emphasizing that posterior on your way up. For the stretching component, we're going to go into a side stretch. So you're going to run these through your adductors. And we're going to spend roughly 10 seconds doing it on one side and then switch it up, do 10 seconds on the other side as well. Alright guys, second set of your sumo squats now, so let's get into it. Dumbbell side squat for this exercise, guys. So we're going to work one side at a time, half a set each, okay? You can see our feet are nice and parallel. It's nice and wide, and you're dropping to one side. You're keeping the opposite knee nice and straight. And we want that pressure and we want the stretch in the adductors in the middle of your legs as you do it. Let's get started with this one. Okay, now let's go towards the other side. stretching time. Now let's keep both legs straight and we're going to favor one side, guys. So just drop down, be comfortable with it. Spend 10 seconds on one side and then 10 seconds on the other side as well. Okay, your second set of side squats, guys. Let's get into it now. Alright, switch sides and focus on the other leg. This exercise is squats with a calves raise. So you can see we're doing this one with parallel feet at shoulder width and then dropping down nice and deep, making sure your spine's remaining nice and neutral throughout. And once you're at the top of it, we're going to hit a calves raise. So go all the way up, put a little pause at the top of it, and then work your way back down and start your repetition all over again. For the stretching component, we're going into a calf stretch. So what's important here is make sure your back toes are pointing forward. All right, they're not pointing to the side, they're pointing forward. And then make sure that your back knee is nice and straight as well. So 10 seconds on one side and 10 seconds on the other. Second set of your squat calves raises, guys. Let's do it. Stiff leg deadlifts for this exercise, guys. So you can see that we're keeping our knees soft straight, so there's no squatting component to these deadlifts. Drop down with your spine nice and neutral. Give yourself as much range as you've got and then work your way up to your standing position. Now you can see our feet are parallel and situated at shoulder width. Your turn to have a go. For the stretch, we're gonna drop down into a posterior stretch. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to look behind you between your legs. Now, you can see we're using our calves, and you can see I'm pressuring against the back of my calf to try and really get this stretch. Alright, let's get into the second set of our stiff leg deadlifts. Dumbbell split squat for this next exercise, guys. This is another really good inclusion when you're doing your full body dumbbell workout and focusing on primary exercises. This is going to really help with your stabilizers. And it's a fantastic exercise to work the rear leg glute and the front leg quadricep. Make sure that both your toes are pointing forward and focus on keeping your front shin bone nice and vertical throughout your repetition. Okay, now switch sides. For your stretch, we're going to go into some quadricep stretches, guys. Just make sure that your base leg is soft, so we want to make sure that it's not locked. Now make sure that you pull both knees in and then push your hip out as you're doing your quadricep stretch. Alright, now let's get started with the second set of your split squats. Change legs once again, and let's do the other side. These are cross-legged deadlifts, guys, so get yourself situated so you're nicely balanced with one foot crossing over past the other one, guys. Where you're going to really feel the stretch on this one is in the glutes, in the posterior leg, the leg behind you. Try to keep your back neutral while you do this one, guys. Alright, switch legs and do the other side. A lot of people forget to include this exercise as part of their full body dumbbell workout, guys. It's a must do, so make sure you include it in there. So just working a side glute stretch for this one, guys. It's quite a comfortable stretch. So just favor one side and make sure that that back leg is nice and straight and just push against it. 10 seconds on one side and 10 seconds on the other. Okay, let's go into our second set now, guys. So start with your originating leg forward, and then we'll switch halfway in between. Switch legs now. Single arm row for this exercise. So make sure that you've got a nice lengthy stance and that you've got your forearm supported on top of your lead leg. And we're going to pull straight up. Make sure that your arm is tucked in by your side so that when you're pulling up, your hand gets to your ribs and that your elbows are not hanging out. Let's get you guys to have a go at this one. Okay, let's switch and do your single arm rows on the other side now. Alright, nice and wide with your legs, guys. Let's go into a lat stretch. So you can see we're grabbing our wrist on one side and pulling it right across our body. So let's do that for 10 seconds and then grab your opposite arm and pull in the opposite direction for the next 10 seconds. Okay, second set of your single arm rows, guys. Let's get started now. Switch again and do your dumbbell rows on the other side. A bent over T row for this exercise, guys. So you can see feet are parallel. My butt is pushing back out so that you want to make sure you're keeping a nice neutral spine. You don't want to hunch in your back for this one. And then when you're pulling up, you're pulling with your elbows nice and wide. You want to try and hit a straight line from elbow to elbow at the top of this exercise. And then just extend your arms and balance down the middle. Your turn to try it. Alright, let's get into our stretch for this one. So it's similar to a shoulder stretch, but it has a torso rotation in it. So you can feel this going through your rhomboids all the way to the spine in the thoracic region. Okay, second set of T-rows, guys. Let's get into it. Bent over dumbbell reverse fly for this exercise. So we want to make sure that we've got our feet at shoulder width. When you're bending forward, you're pushing your butt out, and it's essentially a hinge. So you want to make sure that your spine's nice and neutral and it's protected. And then you want to reverse fly all the way out with your arms remaining soft straight all the way through. It is not a reverse press exercise, guys. You've got to make sure you open right up. The rotation is at your shoulders and not at your elbow. Okay, so we're doing what looks like a standing cat stretch for this one, guys. So you're essentially hunching your upper back. And then what we'll do, we'll give ourselves a really big hug. Maintain that hunch in the back because that's stretching your upper back out. And just do some rotations left to right. Okay, second set of reverse flies. Let's get into it now. Wide chest press from the floor. So this is an excellent chest and triceps exercise, guys. It's a primary exercise for when you're doing your dumbbell workouts, and you must include it in your workout. Now you can see it's a straight line, elbow to elbow, and then we're pushing up vertically and meeting in the middle. So this is keeping perfect form in your chest press. Good control tempo on the way in and on the way out. Alright, a prone chest stretch for this one, guys. So you can see we're leaving our arm at 90 degrees and then pushing away at the shoulders. So getting that rotation, it should really open the chest up. It's a fantastic exercise. Make sure we do this on both sides. Second set, wide chest presses, guys. Let's get into it now. Close grip dumbbell press. So this is fantastic for your chest as well as your triceps. Now you've got to make sure you keep those elbows tucked in by your sides and then just push up vertically. This is essentially working your long and lateral triceps as well as the center of your chest. Go all the way up and put a little pause at the top and then work your way down until your elbows are grounded. A nice supine Y stretch for this one, guys. So just extend those arms up into a Y, make sure that your arm is fully grounded, and then pin your back to the ground. So pin your lower back down. Take a nice deep breath from there. Alright, let's get back into those close grip presses for a second set. Let's do it now. Dumbbell chest fly for this exercise. Dumbbell chest fly for this exercise, guys. You can see we're extending out with soft, straight elbows, okay? We don't want the elbows to open and close because it's not a pressing exercise. It's a rotation at the shoulder. And what this is essentially doing is really working through your chest from the inside to the outside, a little bit in the anterior head of the shoulders, and then also a little bit in the biceps and triceps as well. Alright, so go into your stretch. So what we'll do, we'll go nice and wide with those arms. You can go into a Y position if you like as well, but you can see we're tilting the hips from one side to the other. So it'll actually give you a little bit of a hip stretch, but it'll work really well as far as stretching your chest is concerned as well. Second set of dumbbell chest flies, guys. Let's do this. dumbbell shoulder press. Now, this is again one of those must-do exercises when you want to get results from your dumbbells workout. We're doing this one kneeling, and that's really just to fit in the frame. You could do this standing if you like. You can see the movement. It's nice and square. We're getting to a point where elbows are straight line down the bottom, and then pushing vertical and meeting in the middle. Don't push your hips forward for this one, guys. Protect your back. For the stretch, we're going to go into a supraspinatus stretch. So we want to basically open up the anterior, the front of your shoulders for this one. So grab your wrist and pull it all the way across, and then pull your shoulder back as you do it. Now let's make sure we do both sides. Alright, second set of shoulder presses, everybody. Let's go. Standing lateral delts raise for this one. So you can see we're starting with our feet parallel, knees are slightly bent, hips behind you, and it's remaining nice and static. So we've got to make sure we protect our back. And you can see the lateral raise is coming from the side, not from the front, which basically means there's no build-up of momentum. Make sure that you finish at a T and there's no unnecessary bend of the elbows. Keep those elbows soft, straight throughout. A traditional shoulder stretch for this one, guys. So you can see we're digging from underneath the elbow, really attacking that straight arm, but this time there's no twist. So we're keeping the stretch at the posterior delts. Okay, second set of lateral raises. Let's do it. upright rows with a neutral grip for this one, guys. So make sure that you keep those elbows tucked in by your side and then lift the dumbbell all the way along your ribs. It stays beside you. Now you can lift your elbows and your shoulders and really engage your traps for this exercise. Make sure there's no swing back and forth as far as your hips are concerned. Your turn to have a go. Okay, let's work through a neck and trap stretch for this one. So you can see my hand is by my side and it's extended, and then I'm pulling in the opposite direction and marginally forward as far as pressuring the back of the head and neck is concerned. You can see I'm marginally changing Steph's stretch just so that it's a little bit less to the side and a little bit more forward, and that way you get a really good stretch in the traps. All right, start your second set now, guys. Alright, now it's not a full body dumbbell workout unless you've got some biceps curls in there, guys. So let's do this. Let's make sure your elbows are nice and static. Now we're starting with neutral hands beside you, and then we're getting that turn at the top. So make sure we're getting 90 degrees of twist right at the top, so we're hitting the peak of the biceps. Do not drive forward with your hips at all. Try and keep your hips static and keep your knees ever so slightly bent. Alright, traditional forearm and bicep stretch for this one. So you can see we're grabbing all four fingers, extending the arm and pulling it across to the opposite thigh or the opposite hip. Let's make sure we do this stretch on both sides. Alright, one more set of those biceps curls, everybody. Let's do it. Biceps hammer curl for this exercise. Again, if we're looking for real results throughout our workout, we've got to make sure we hit these hammer curls as well. You want to make sure that you're addressing the lateral head of your biceps as well, not just the medial head. So make sure we include these hammer curls. Keep the elbows nice and static, lift up 90 degrees, and then just drop those arms back down beside you. Alright, for this stretch, let's use a wall or let's use something solid for a little bit of support. You can see a pronated hand, so your palms facing down basically, and then we're twisting away at the shoulders so that you can get that really good stretch in the biceps. Second set hammer curls. Let's do this, everybody. Upright skull crushers for this one, guys. Now we're doing this one kneeling, and the reason we're doing it kneeling is so that we can fit into the frame. But if you want to do it standing, do it standing. You get some extra core strength when you do it standing, so you might find it a little bit easier. The main thing is make sure that you're not pushing your hips forward, and then make sure that your elbows are tucked in, extend right up. Now, if the dumbbell rests on your shoulders, then you're not pulling it too far back, so it's not compromising your rotator cuff either. Right, just working our way into a traditional tricep stretch for this one. So you want to make sure that your forearm is vertical and that your hand's pointing down, and just offer some support with your opposite hand. Try not to get tangled up the way Steph just did. Second set, skull crushers, guys. Let's go. Triceps Kickback. Now, another fantastic primary exercise for your full body dumbbells workout. Make sure that your spine's remaining nice and neutral when you bend forward, and then make sure that your elbows are static and they're by your ribs. We don't want them hanging out. You want at least 90 degrees of rotation at the elbows and really emphasize squeezing those triceps at the top. Okay, so this is a different way of stretching your triceps. So you can see we're essentially holding on to our neck, which creates stretching the triceps to begin with, and then we're pulling back with the opposite arm. So I'm doing it with the forearm, pulling back at it, and this is just, like I said, another way of stretching your triceps. So have a go at this one. All right, let's work through a second set of your kickbacks now. Weighted obliques tilt for this exercise. So you can see that our feet are a little bit wider than shoulder width, which would be the perfect position. Now, this is one of the only exercises where your knees are locked hard straight. Okay, so don't let the knees bend on this one, and then just tilt to the side. Make sure that you're not tilting backwards because we don't want any pressure in the erectors or in the lumbar region of your back. Start with your favorite side. Okay, let's change over and tilt to the other side now. Alright, let's hinge to the side for an oblique stretch on this one, guys. So you can see by pointing your hand at 45 degrees and then supporting your body by holding onto your thigh, we can really tilt over and feel that stretch in the obliques. Second set of oblique tilts. Let's get started with your original side. Okay, let's change over and tilt to the other side now. Supine weighted abs crunch for this exercise. So very important to keep your lower back pinned against the floor. You can see the weight is sitting on our chest and we're rolling our back, okay? We're not hinging, we're rolling and lifting up and really squeezing, particularly in the upper abs. Make sure that you return with control and just a nice steady pace. Okay, let's turn over for our stretch, guys. We're gonna go into a cobra stretch. Now, make sure that your hands are at your ribs. So when you're pulling up into that stretch, you wanna make sure that you're extending and not compressing your back. All right, if your hands are too far in front of you, you're gonna compress your back. It's gonna be very uncomfortable. So pull your hands back close to your ribs. Okay, second set of weighted crunches, guys. Let's do this.
Well done, you guys. Great job getting through today's full body dumbbell workout with the primary exercises that we went through. Now, if you enjoyed the workout with us today, can I suggest that you share it with your friends? That will help them get into shape. We'd love to be able to help those guys get into shape as well. And you'll be helping our channel as well. So we'd be really grateful to you guys for it. With that said, have yourselves a fantastic day, and we're going to catch up with you guys really soon.